Speak Easy Studios. Speak and be heard.
Yo, this is Stephen Lee.
And I'm Frank Jackson.
And we are the Distinguished Critics. We're here to break down some of our favorite albums and songs and debate what's overrated, underrated, and everything in between. So join us as we go back and relive some of music's most iconic projects. Give us a listen wherever you get your podcasts, and please remember to rate, review, subscribe, and give us those 5 stars. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of This or That Shorts. I'm Stephen Lee, as always, joined by Frank Jackson, and today we are going to be discussing 2 major smashes from the year 2001. That's right, we're talking about Jay-Z's Girls, Girls, Girls and Ludacris's Area Codes. Frank, how you doing today, man?
I'm excited. I was excited as soon as we came up with this one because there's few songs more than these two that at that time especially were as much bangers as they were to me, and they have very similar
Themes?
concept. And you could say done in a very like Area Codes done in a very Ludacris way, and Girls, Girls, Girls done in a very Jay-Z type of way. I love both of these songs. This is going to be one of the harder ones I've had to do in terms of what's my favorite.
Right.
Because right off the bat, I love both of these still to this day.
Yeah, I like that you said that both artists approach these concepts in ways that you would expect them to do, right? Ludacris, there's a little bit of a comedic element there.
Yes.
With Jay, there's the wittiness of like he's going through every race, creed, and color in terms of the girls that he's talking about. Ludacris in 2001 was probably like my favorite rapper at that time. Jay, on the other hand, it's weird because these songs came out when we were in, what, like 6th grade maybe?
Yes.
I had heard Hard Knock Life before, but I never like associated that with, oh, that's Jay-Z. I started to get a little bit into Jay around the time that this song dropped. I mean, it was unavoidable. You know, we're riding the bus and you hear this on the radio all the time, along with Area Codes, but Ludacris had already reeled me in with some of the stuff that he had done before. So
I loved I wasn't the biggest Jay-Z fan growing up.
Can't deny this era of Jay is...
Well, right. So this is when I did become a Jay-Z fan, like officially. And I had liked tracks that he did before, but The Blueprint was an album I loved then and still do love. That's easily in Jay's top 3 to me.
2 maybe, right?
Yeah,
that and Reasonable Doubt, like those are probably the ones.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say of the differences between the two, I think Girls, 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 even from the video standpoint,
Classic
this was
video.
just more traditional hip hop in its sound and also in its presentation. I would say that Area Codes was like a sign of hip hop kind of at the time, which is what Ludacris was more of the flashy
boisterous,
in a way.
Right.
Yeah, he was demonstrative in everything that he did. Jay-Z's was more like loungy, kind of like that player type feel.
Well, and the whole Blueprint album and this song in particular, it kind of pushed forward like the chipmunk soul, right? That we got from Kanye and Just Blaze, and they couldn't sound more different. Jazzy Faye did Area Codes, and this is another one of those, like, man, when you look at the production credits, Jazzy Faye
had a run, a hell of a run. He did.
Nate Dogg, you got to talk about Nate on the chorus of Area Codes, the king of hooks.
Yep.
You know, he really set this off. It originally appeared, I think, on the Rush Hour 2 soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
But it was the first single off Word of Mouth, Ludacris's second official studio album, and I think they're both perfect songs, you know, for that lane that they're catering to. And, you know, in terms of presenting this as a single, like Jay did it his way, Ludacris did it his way.
I would say Jay's was very kind of, I would say, smart the way he did it, and a little funny. Like some of the bars were were funny.
Mm-hmm.
Ludacris was just his whole thing was that, like, saying stuff that was witty but also really funny. So Ludacris had that turned up to like a 10 on this song, and you combine it with, as you mentioned, Nate Dogg, and it's hard to miss if you're gonna have these two at their peak, fully being themselves. Nate Dogg, you put him on any
Anything,
hook,
yeah.
and it's gonna make your song 20 times better.
This song would not be what it is without Nate. If this was, I don't know, insert Joe or something, right? Like, if insert random R&B artist, like, it wouldn't have worked. It had to be Nate on this song.
I have Nate and T-Pain in a class of their own, where you have them on the hook, you have them on the song. Your song is gonna be at least a kind of a hit,
right?
At least, right?
And if it's not a hit, it's still gonna be a good I can't think of one Nate Dogg song that I don't enjoy, or one feature or appearance where I'm like, he didn't do his thing there. Nate was the best, man.
Yeah,
he
was. So when it comes to having to choose between them, I can't. It's hard to really find fault with either of these. If I have to split any hairs when doing so, which is what I'm gonna have to do in order to do that, I'll say that I've enjoyed the Girls video a hell of a lot more. It had some awesome cameos. R.I.P. Biz Markie.
Yeah, he was in there.
Who was in there.
That video is like one of Jay's best, just because of how it unfolds, and you see all the girls that he's talking about, and he's going through these different scenarios, whereas Ludacris's Area Codes was more of like your standard flashy, fun type of hip-hop video at the time.
Plus he had, he had a line that was a nod to, Eddie Murphy's stand-up. Like, there's things in that song that I just think are really cool to me. So I would probably give the nod to that, but that's not at all any knock on Area Codes, which is, that's still, I don't know anybody. There's nobody in my life that if Area Codes comes on, they're not singing that at the top of their lungs.
Right, and you can tell, like, once the beat hits, it's like, it's Area. Jazzy Faye had that distinctive sound, and this is tough. I want to go with Area Codes and give the slight edge because of the Nate Dogg feature, but I think I'm still going to go with Girls. Like you said, there's just a bunch of lines in there. It's great storytelling. There's a bunch of lines in there. She thinks she bowed Derek with her hair in a twist. Like the video, the album, and I love Word of Mouth too, but like the Blueprint and this era of Jay, it's like he was untouchable at that time. And this song still sounds incredibly fresh. Really, they both do. It's apples and oranges, but I would probably give the nod to Girls.
I will say, if I'm going to pick one to listen to right now, it would be Girls.
Same here. So let us know what you guys think, and we'll be back at you with another episode next week. Peace.
Thanks for giving us a listen. Give us your feedback and let us know how you really feel. Subscribe, rate, review, and we'll see you next week.